command of his army. It's a military order. But the Jesuit general is accountable also to a Jesuit council. But there's no real way to know, what qualifies someone to be elected. I would say the most important thing is intelligence, because of that position. I mean, they are overseeing the worldwide intelligence community. They're overseeing all of these, because listen, there's many structures here. It's not just the Jesuits. It's not just the Illuminati. You have the Islamic Brotherhood. You have the Masonic Islamic Brotherhood. You have Vatican Knights all over the earth. You have the Equestrian Order, the Knights of Malta. You have the Knights of Columbus that govern the Senate in America, govern politics in America. This is a worldwide conspiracy. And so to be a Jesuit general, I would say intelligence is the most important qualification there. To be able to coordinate that, and network and just organize this whole structure. So intelligence would be the most important qualification.
Well, Alan, one thing that really amazes me, and it's totally ingenious, evil as it is, we have this military order, and yet they walk around with rosaries tied around their hips. I mean, I'm being a little cynical here, but they're hiding behind the cross, and people go, oh, they're Christians. No, they're warlords.
Yeah. That's right. They hide behind that. That's why they call the Society of Jesus. But when you read their oath, they're anything but men of God. They are anything but men who follow Jesus Christ. Read the Jesuit oath. It's who they are. But what happens is when people look into the Society of Jesus, and if you go on my blog, I've got a lot on that. What you do have is you have the white power structure of the Jesuits themselves, black and white. When you look at the Jesuits themselves and you look at the websites, they have the white overt order of good works, which are done or shown openly. So they appear to be Catholics, they appear to be priests, okay? That's a camouflage. That's just a camouflage. That's just overt behavior to conceal who they really are. Who they really are is still the Black Jesuit order, the covert order of counter-reformation. They're the ones waging the wars across the earth. They're the ones that, position their false enemies they are just pawns in the game. They are just expendable. They are removed. Men like Saddam Hussein, men like Gaddafi. It's the Jesuits of Rome, truly, that are bringing these wars through the international intelligence community. And yet, as you've said, if you look at the Church of the Jesuit, there they are. The priests of Rome, they are the Jesuit order, Jesuit fathers. That's just a cover to hide their covert behavior. And you will see when you look at the Jesuit in Colombia, and you will see the Jesuit general. Visit them when you look at the website. But, they are mass murderers. They are truly the most wicked, evil men on this planet, ruled by Satan, ruled by Lucifer.
Well,
Christ.
Yes, that is. Now, I interjected that. I guess Watchman didn't quite get his full question answered there. Just so you know, I'll give you a little bit of history because it's out there in the broadcast. Watchman's father came up here from Ecuador several decades ago to escape in-your-face Catholic persecution towards the Protestants. He's come on and done an interview. So Watchman's a bit familiar with some of this. Just to give you a little history. Watchman, why don't you go ahead and re-ask your question or ask again, and maybe Alan can take another stab at it.
Yeah, you answered it mostly. I just wanted to know if you know who this Black Pope is, who the general is. Is he visible or is he covered?
Right. Well, okay. Let me explain this. The Black Pope himself officially is elected, and when he's elected, then he's known as the Black Pope. And he's elected by the General Congregation. The last one was the 35th General Congregation. And who was elected was Adolfo Nicolas Pachin. He's from Spain. So he was officially the Jesuit Superior General, recognized as the Jesuit General. But as I've explained in a lot of my YouTube videos and a lot of my work, that I do believe that what they have done right now in 2013, on the 13th of the 3rd, is the elected Pope Francis to be the Pope of Rome, but they've actually elected for the first time a Jesuit general, the Black Pope, to be the White Pope, to be the Pope of Rome, which has never happened. And the reason how they could do that is because they had a divergent. For instance, let me explain again. You have Hans Kolbenbach, who resigned in 2008 as the Jesuit general. He chose Adolfo Nicholas Pacinian. He was positioned as the superior Jesuit general in 2008. But then in 2013, you had Pope Benedict resign, and then you had Pope Francis positioned as the Pope of Rome. So you have a Black Pope resign, a Black Pope positioned. You have a White Pope resign, a White Pope positioned. They're working in harmony. It's never happened before. They're working in conformity. That's what the Jesuits do. And that is one of the rules of Ignatius Loyola. Rule 13 is that we must all work in harmony. And so out in the open, it looks like, well, there's a Black Pope resigned, there's a White Pope resigned. But actually what we have is a Black Pope. It's the first Jesuit provincial to be the Pope of Rome, Pope Francis Bergoglio. He's the first Jesuit provincial to be the White Pope. So everyone right now is looking at Adolfo Nicholas officially as the Black Pope. He's not the Black Pope. He's not. He's there to divert and deflect attention away from the fact that what we have today, for the first time in the history of the 500-year history of the Jesuit order, is the Black Pope who's come forth as the White Pope. That really means that when you see Joe Biden, who's a high Jesuit who graduated from a Jesuit university, Santa Clara and St. Joseph, when he stands before Pope Francis, he stands before his general. And so the Jesuit general is receiving worship today. And he is the one that's causing all people, to pray to Mary. Or he's the one that's calling for world peace. And this will continue. From this point on, every Pope of Rome will be a Jesuit general. That's the truth. And it's the Jesuit general who will be that man of sin, that scarlet beast, that Antichrist. I do believe that. But the Jesuit general has always been in the shadows. Always, been hidden in the sense that he's had secret control of the world government, secret covert control. But we've always known who the Jesuit general was. Whereas now, we have Pope Francis himself commanding all governments as the Jesuit general. So this is a very significant time in the history of the Jesuit order.
Okay, well, that watchman says that answered his question. I can't, if people have questions, press 1, we'll let you in. But I'm going to let Walt go because I have a sneaking suspicion with everything that's covered since we let Jan in. Walt's got to be about bursting because, like I say, this is his subject, and I expect this is a real treat. Walt, go for it.
Yeah, and you guys just talk, share as much as you want to share. I'd like to hear also what you have to say. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, Walt.
Well, listen, I'm just very attentively listening because Alan is hitting all the pages. We're talking about a very big subject, and we're talking about something that's never been taught. Give you an example. I'm holding a book right now in my hand, and the title of it is The History of the Jesuits in England, and it was published in 1901. And I want to go back to the basics that we've talked on this broadcast. Lori one time said to me off air, she said, Walt, why is it that nobody knows anything about the Jesuits? And I'm going to ask that question to you, Alan. Why is it that nobody, when I go out on the streets of America here and nobody knows anything about them?
That's a good question. Well, what they've done is they've rewritten history. And so the vast majority of information that you find on the Jesuits, they're actually from suppressed books, and that's a good book. I'll say this first, I've got books on my blog, and I just want to click up this first before I answer that, just to say to people this. What you have to do, and this is the answer it. The only way to know about the Jesuits is to actually go into what's called suppressed documents and books. You've got books on the history of the Jesuits, the Popes of Rome, a lot of work by Martin Luther. You've got a lot of works today by Eric Jon Phelps. There's a lot of work out there, but a lot of the older books, for instance, by Jeremiah J. Crowley, a Roman Catholic priest for 21 years, he left the Catholic Church. And he wrote a book called Romanism, Menace to the Nations, or you have Romanism, a World Power. Now, or Charles Chiniquy, 50 years in the Church of Rome, and he knew Abraham Lincoln personally. And Abraham Lincoln knew that the Jesuits were going to end his life by an assassin, and that happened, and Charles Chiniquy exposed that. Now, to answer your question, the reason why people don't know anything about the Jesuits, like I didn't years ago, is because they've suppressed all of this history. They've suppressed it. They've rewritten it. They took it out of circulation. And so, also today, it takes a lot of time to research this information. But there's not a lot of people speaking out. There's a wall of silence on Rome because they control the media. They control the book publication houses. They control radio. They control all of it. And even on the internet itself, my friend, honestly, a lot of it is controlled opposition. Yes, they'll expose the Bilderberg. Yes, they'll expose the Illuminati. Good order. They won't do it. They won't expose the Jesuits. That brings the question, why won't they do that? Why won't they go against Rome? So there is this wall of silence all over the media. Not just YouTube or the internet, but the whole media is silent regarding the Jesuit general because, these books have been taken out of publication and they're not republished. So what you have to do is go to websites that expose the Jesuits or talk about the Reformation, because a lot of people think, well, this happened hundreds of years ago. This was a Jesuit conspiracy and they were suppressed, and, this is really hundreds of years ago, isn't it? So that's the mindset that people have. Or you have another group of people who have no revelation, as you've said, whatsoever, of who the Jesuits really are. So they see them as Catholic priests and Jesuit fathers, and, well, they're just Catholic priests. No other revelation of their order or their history, really.
So they think it's over, that, the Jesuits were there, they did their thing, whatever it was, and they are no more. Wow. Okay. All right, go ahead, Walt. I got to chew on that for a bit.
Well, and he hit all the bases again, and it boils down to it is we haven't been taught history. We don't know history. Americans don't know history. It's not only the Americans, the Europeans also. The English do not, because like Chris Pinto has said on a broadcast, in 1776, you see, they were suppressed in 1773. And the reason they were suppressed is the 99% of the colonies were Protestant, and when you said the word Jesuit, it's meant the same thing as Nazi today. Now everybody knows what a Nazi is, but they resurfaced. I think it was in 1812 or 1814, and and they founded a Jesuit university in 1789, the same year we became officially a nation. And like Alan said, the books are hard to come by, but they're there. They are there. And in other words, and what this broadcast is about, what Alan's trying to get across, what I'm trying to get across, is everything that Alan has said tonight can be verified. Mm-hmm. It's fact. It's a fact. It's not a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy, and the conspiracy is the Jesuit Vatican run New World Order. And we have to get educated, and we have to quit thinking emotionally and think intellectually, and make a stand, and tell somebody else. Pass this broadcast on, make a copy of it, and send it to somebody else.
I was going to say
that's
something.
The only.
Sorry.
Go ahead now, Alan.
No, actually. You finished. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Well, I pretty much finished. Again, Alan, I want to thank you. It's good to hear somebody else. I go many days, and when I can find somebody that understands a little history, you understand where I live. I have a few friends. But you have to do the research yourself, because you're not going to be taught anything about it. But I want to say one thing, and I think you're going to be interested in this, Alan. When I was out in the truck from 1991 to 2001, I drove over the road, a truck driver. I bought every book that Tex Mars ever published up until Circle of Tree. One time, I purchased a whole case of A Woman Rides the Beast by